Hey friends, my name's Derrick Broze, and I'm running for mayor of Houston. I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about who I am, where I've been, and what issues I'm going to focus on as a mayoral candidate. First of all, I'm 34 years old, and I've lived in Houston my entire life. For the last 10 years, I've worked as an activist, and as a journalist, and as a radio show host to try to expose corruption and shine a light into the darkness. I'm continuing to do this now as a mayoral candidate. But I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about where I've come from before I tell you about what I'm doing now. 15 years ago, I was arrested for possession of crystal meth. I was addicted to drugs, and I spent time here in Texas state prisons. As I worked through that, I discovered a little bit about myself, and I ended up getting off parole in the summer of 2009. And since that time, I've spent all of my energy and all my efforts to try to better myself, and as I said, working as an activist and a journalist in the city, to show that you can go through that darkness and you can become a better person. And that's what I'm trying to do again, now as a mayoral candidate. Some people might say because I've been to prison or because I've had drug addictions that should disqualify me from being a candidate. But I actually think that makes me more connected to you, the average Houstonian, because of how prevalent the drug war is in our city and in the United States in general. Every year, thousands of people are locked up here in Houston for using plants or for being arrested for victimless crimes. That's something that I'd like to focus on. So let's talk about that. What are the issues that I want to talk about as a mayoral candidate? My two main goals are to expose corruption in the city and to amplify the voices of Houstonians. The main thing that I want to do if I was to become mayor of Houston would be to change the city charter, to amend the charter, to give the mayor's power to the city council. Currently, as it stands, the mayor has too much control. If the mayor doesn't like an issue that you care about, that you write your council members about, or that you email them about, if the mayor's not interested, he will not place it on the agenda and it cannot be voted on. It cannot even be discussed officially. That is something that we need to change. The mayor has been accused of being a dictator here in the city, and it's not just this current mayor. This is the previous mayors and every mayor that will come along until this is changed. I am the only candidate that wants to take away the mayor's power and give it back to the city council by amending the city charter. I know firsthand as an activist in the last 10 years when I've come to city council to talk about the homeless feeding ordinance, to talk about fluoride in the water, to talk about 5G, to talk about police violence, that even if the city council members are concerned like I am, they can't do anything as long as the mayor has this power. So that would be our main goal, to change the city charter, to take away the power from the mayor and give it back to city council and give it back to the people, to amplify your voices. Now, out of that, some of the issues that I am concerned about, that I think you guys might be concerned about, that we could potentially change once we amplify the Houstonians' voices, include decriminalizing cannabis here in the city. We already have a district attorney who has said they will not arrest individuals for possession of up to an ounce of cannabis. As mayor, I could instruct HPD to no longer arrest people for cannabis charges. This would greatly reduce the amount of money, the amount of time, and the amount of torment that is on Houston families as people are locked up and spending their time in these prisons and these institutions when they could be doing something better for themselves and their communities. So we'll talk about decriminalizing cannabis. I also want to put a moratorium on 5G, the fifth generation cellular rollout that Mayor Sylvester Turner is so proud to do. The mayor has been awarded the 5G Wireless Champion Award by the telecom lobby. And because of this, he refuses to answer questions about safety and security and privacy concerns related to 5G. He's in a rush to make Houston a smart city. If I'm mayor, we will put a moratorium on that. We will stop the 5G rollout. We will host a public comment period, and we will do an independent study to find out if this is safe for Houstonians. Additionally, I also want to put HPD surveillance and the fact that downtown is surrounded by 10,000 cameras from the Department of Homeland Security. Houston is slowly becoming a surveillance city, and the average Houstonian has no idea. And this is, again, something that you never voted on, that you never had a say in. If it was up to me, we would put a halt on the funding of those programs, if not completely eliminating them, and let the people of Houston decide whether they want to fund that. And finally, when it comes to Proposition B and paying the firefighters, the mayor is determined to fire the firefighters, to let them go because he says he doesn't have the money. The mayor hasn't put forth any ideas on how we can take money from other areas or eliminate wasteful programs to actually fund the firefighters and help keep Houston's firefighter force strong instead of firing them. If we ended the drug war here in Houston, if we put a slowdown on 5G, and if we rethink funding the surveillance in the city, that would free up lots of money, in addition to other programs that we might consider. These are my goals. My goal is to bring awareness to certain issues that the mayor doesn't want to talk about, that the other candidates don't want to talk about, and that some of the local media don't want to talk about. These are the issues that I care about. There are many more that I also care about that I'm going to talk to you about over the coming months. But if these interest you, please visit derrickbroze.com to find out more about my campaign, to find out more about my work, to see how you can contribute or volunteer, and generally see how we can work to expose corruption and amplify the people of Houston's voice. I'm not asking you to wait till November to vote for me, and I'm not even going to ask you to vote for me necessarily. I want you to vote every day with your actions in your community by spreading awareness and getting involved. If any of the issues I've mentioned have resonated with you, please share them with a friend, share them with a neighbor, share them with a coworker, and let people know that there are things happening in our community that need to be exposed, and there are solutions we can find if we come together as a community. Thank you guys so much for your time. Remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Peace.